it's an irony that we are in this war with Iran. Well, we're not. The lunatics are. In the week of the anniversary, the 23rd anniversary of the invasion of Iraq. And what another irony that this week, anniversary week, the Americans were bombing Iraq again. They were bombing in Iraq, targeting groups that they say are supporting Iran and are proxies for Iran. So this war with Iran, with all its economic effects, and the world order, people keep saying the world order is over. Yeah, because it's meant to be, and it's not bringing down the globalists, as so many people seem to think Trump is doing. He's bringing down the old order so the new order can take its place. And so here we are now in a situation where the old order is crashing and the new order, AI, digital dystopia, is coming in to replace it. And that's the other thing. You know, have you noticed there's always money for war? You know, there's not money for the homeless. We can't afford that. Oh, no, we'd like to, but we can't afford that, no. You've got, in America, you've got Trump has been cutting health care support and many other areas of support for the poor and the not well off. But at the same time, because it's like, oh no, we must, you know, it's like Doge with Elon Musk. Do you remember that? Oh yes, Doge, we've got to come in and we've got to cut waste. We've got to get rid of wasted money in the system and all that stuff. Well, this week, Pete Hegseth, the moronic, childlike Secretary for War, has announced that he wants another, wait for it, $200 billion more to pay for this war in Iran. And at the same time that he announced it, in the same speech that he announced he wants this $200 billion of extra money, he castigated the Iranian regime for spending its money on missiles and not its population. I mean, these people, I mean, cognitive dissonance it just doesn't cut it for these people. So there's always money for war because why? The cult wants wars because that level, in another dimensional level, wants wars for reasons I talk about and write about in the books. So here's an irony from this week, given current events. This week was the 23rd anniversary of the invasion of Iraq by the United States and Tony Blair to take over the country and kill its leader, Saddam Hussein. Ironic, really, because Saddam Hussein was used by the Americans in the Iraq-Iran war from 1980 to 1988. And people like Donald Rumsfeld, who was the defense secretary, as it was called then, at the time of 9/11, he went over in the 1980s to Saddam Hussein and arranged for the transportation of chemical weapons to Saddam to use against the Iranians. But all these people are gophers. I keep saying that because it's true. Like, Trump is a gopher. Pete Hegseth, he's got gopher written on his forehead. You know, all these people are gophers around the world. Oh, no, very powerful. He's prime minister, he's president. No, he's a gopher. And so Saddam Hussein was a gopher. And they used him when it suited them, and they actually literally killed him when it suited them to kill him. So it's an irony that we are in this war with Iran. Well, we're not. The lunatics are. In the week of the anniversary, the 23rd anniversary of the invasion of Iraq. And what another irony that this week, anniversary week, the Americans were bombing Iraq again. They were bombing in Iraq, targeting groups that they say are supporting Iran and are proxies for Iran. So, have a look at this. This is President Boy Bush announcing the start of the war in Iraq in 2003, and talk about deja vu. It could be Trump speaking. Now, it could be Obama justifying the invasion of Libya. It's the same script, the same cult agenda, just a different era of the sequence.
My fellow citizens, at this hour, American and coalition forces are in the early stages of military operations to disarm Iraq, to free its people, and to defend the world from grave danger. On my orders, coalition forces have begun striking selected targets of military importance to undermine Saddam Hussein's ability to wage war. These are opening stages of what will be a broad and concerted campaign. More than 35 countries are giving crucial support, from the use of naval and air bases to help with intelligence and logistics to the deployment of combat units. Every nation in this coalition has chosen to bear the duty and share the honor of serving in our common defense. To all the men and women of the United States Armed Forces now in the Middle East, the peace of a troubled world and the hopes of an oppressed people now depend on you. That trust is well placed. The enemies you confront will come to know your skill and bravery. The people you liberate will witness the honorable and decent spirit of the American military. In this conflict, America faces an enemy who has no regard for conventions of war or rules of morality. Saddam Hussein has placed Iraqi troops and equipment in civilian areas, attempting to use innocent men, women, and children as shields for his own military, a final atrocity against his people.
Most of us that's paying attention, we can see that this whole Iran war, one of the main purposes to distract from this Epstein fiasco, this evil acts that was committed by Trump and his friends and the quote-unquote elite. This whole war, cause like, who's gonna talk about Epstein file when you cannot afford gas prices? You cannot afford groceries? Who's gonna talk? Who cares about Epstein? Like, and that's just what they are about, people. This whole thing is to talk about Iran, talk about nuclear war, and we're all gonna be obliterated from existence, just for us to shut up about Epstein. Every reporter, as I see Trump now, first thing, Iran. Remember, people, 2 months ago or a month ago, every corner Trump turned. Epstein. What about Epstein? What about this? What about that? Epstein. So we can see that this whole Iran bloodbath sacrifice Israelis are even they're part of the sacrifice. They're part of the sacrifice. You think Netanyahu care about Israelis? Get that out of your head. You're telling me Trump care about Americans? Okay. And Jones cares about Jamaicans? Okay, I believe. All politicians, all prime ministers, they love their country, love their people. Okay, I believe. Utter nonsense, people. Utter nonsense. So, this is where we are at the moment. But what will come out of the Epstein files, people? Because there is no way this guy, this Trump character, can still remain after all that come out about Epstein. Like, how is he even still there? But we know, people. We know he was chosen to be there. He was selected. He has to be there. Trump has to be there. Simple as that. If they want to jump out, he'll be out. It's just part of the game, people. Part of the direct aim, the deception, part of the matrix, part of what keeps us trapped in this never-ending cycle of madness. If you ask me, total madness, people. But we have to be stronger. We have to try keep our brain and our minds active and productive, regardless, despite what's at our doorstep, which is war, people. But the craziest thing, who we need to wage war on, we're not waging war on those people. We're letting them tell us who we should wage wars against and who we should dislike, who we should fight, literally. People, this is crazy and psychopathic, but this is the world. This is the world I grew up see, and sad to say, but I'm like I saw me I go leave with people. Crazy.